Good. So, welcome everyone. My name is Alejandro Gutierrez. I'm a faculty lecturer and academic program coordinator at the McGill School of Continuing Studies. And it's a pleasure to be here to talk about two of our grad certificates related to data analytics and data analysis. To get started, I want to recognize, as most of you or everyone that is joining this session knows, the importance of data. Companies are now more pressured than ever to use the data that they are collecting efficiently and appropriately. So I want to start with a reflection activity. Imagine you have the ability to analyze complex data to design effective and new solutions in your organization. Imagine you have the power to use mathematical and computational techniques for multiple domains to the problems that you are facing. Imagine that you can see through a systems lens the problems, giving you an extra power or a superpower that allow you to see things no one else can without having the techniques that we cover in some of our grad certificates. So imagine you have all these abilities, all these skills. Imagine that it has happened, it's now 1 year from now or 2 years from now. What challenges would you tackle if you had these superpowers? And I don't want to see the answers, it's just for you to reflect. But there are hundreds, thousands of different problems we can analyze, solve using data. We just need people that can actually put the data to good use. So today I will talk about two grad certificates connected to this idea of using data to design better systems, to see things from a systems perspective. So to get started, I want to clarify the concepts that I'm using: analytics, complex systems. I want to describe some of the applications that we typically develop and some of the areas where we can use them. Then I will tell you more about the two grad certificates that we offer at the School of Continuing Studies: data analysis for complex systems and data-driven decision-making. I will tell you their characteristics, their main objectives, their structure, and how they are delivered, and the courses that are part of these grad certificates. Then we will get more into the tools that we use to analyze data, create models, and find patterns. And then I will tell you more about the instructors that are regularly involved in these grad certificates and were part of the development of these online courses. So I will tell you more about their credentials, their experience, their area of expertise. And then we will finish with a Q&A portion that we can use to discuss any concerns you might have or any questions you might have about these grad certificates or any topic that we discussed today. So let's get started. First, I want to clarify, I want to bring a definition related to analytics that is particularly relevant in the context that we're going to be talking about today. And this is from an organization that organizes most of the knowledge related to analytics. And it's one of the reference points that we use at the school to develop our programs and the content that we include in our courses. And the definition is about what analytics is all about. And it's basically application of scientific and mathematical methods to study and analysis of problems involving complex systems. So here we see three very important elements. One is the scientific aspect. So this is going to be courses. The courses that I will talk about today are going to be courses grounded on scientific techniques, scientific data that we can use to across applications, across industries and organizations. Connected to this idea of scientific knowledge, we also use mathematical techniques, mathematical methods from different areas, coming from probability, statistics, artificial intelligence, and others. At the core, it's a little bit of math, what we use to create the analysis that we produce for the organizations. So that's part one, the background or the fields of studies that are related to data analytics. And on the other, I want to highlight that in this definition, they mention this idea of complex systems as something that we are interested in analyzing, or something that we use as a reference point for this analysis that we are talking about. So this is a very appropriate definition in the context of the grad certificates that we're going to be talking about today, because these grad certificates use this idea of complex systems as a reference point in terms of where we can use these scientific and mathematical methods. So we're going to see where are these complex systems and how can we use them to for different applications. So complex systems are basically interconnections of different components that interact with each other in non-linear ways. So in kind of unexpected ways, when people analyze them without having the proper techniques to study them. So in the context of complex systems means that we are analyzing relationships between different actors, different elements, can be connections in a social network, can be the connections in a traffic jam between cars, can be any kind of system where interconnections are happening. Well, this is something that we can study using appropriate techniques and using certain principles and ideas that apply to these complex systems, like nonlinearities, feedback loops, delays, interconnections. So many different aspects that we can use to understand these complex systems better. And on this picture, on the picture on the right, you can see a city. And the reason why I chose this image is because, well, cities are examples of interconnections between elements at different levels. So imagine you had the capacity to study any kind of system that lives in a city. That means it could be a social system, it could be a mechanical system, it could be systems between enterprises, even systems between cities and countries. Well, imagine you had the power to analyze all these systems using techniques that are coming from the scientific domain and from mathematics. What things can we do with analytics? Well, we can use analytics to describe what has happened in the past, analyze past performance, analyze past behavior. That is what typically descriptive analytics is all about. And that's what companies typically at the beginning are doing when they are not very mature in their use of analytics. It does bring some value to the organization because now you at least, they at least know about their past performance, the past behavior of their customers, but it's not, it can be improved. You can derive more insights from the data if you have the right techniques and the right data. Well, what else can we do with data? Well, we can also find relationships in the data to try to understand why some events occur, why, for example, customers bought the product or not, why there was an increase in customer demand, why there was a change in the behavior of a process. Well, that's what diagnostic analytics is all about. So not only describing the past, but trying to understand the why. What seemed to be driving the change that you see. That's more valuable for the organization, but there are other stages of analytics, other kinds of analytics projects that we can develop if you have the right techniques and the right knowledge. We can, for example, predict what's going to happen, predict if a customer is going to buy the product next time, next week, next month, predict if the behavior of a student that is completing a course, predict the number of cars that we can sell or the number of cars that we need to have ready to sell. Well, that's some of the questions that we can answer using techniques that are coming from this next stage of analytics, which is predictive analytics. So now it's not only about describing the past and understanding the reasons, it's about predicting the future. And as you can see in the y-axis of this graph, by increasing or by changing project types or analytic types, we are increasing the value that we can provide to the organization interested in these questions. And then there is a final stage, which is not typically covered in most programs because it does open a range of applications and techniques that are not regularly explored right now in most academic programs. And that's this idea of prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics is all about how not can we predict the future or potential future scenarios, but use analytics as a test bed to test different scenarios, different assumptions, different configurations, different ideas, and using analytics to test those ideas and see what are potential results of those scenarios or those changes that we want to introduce. Oh, here now we are dealing with another complete kind of analytics. We are dealing with something very sophisticated that requires using simulation models, using different techniques depending on the problem. But it's possible, and it can add a lot more value than even the previous group of techniques, as we can see in this graph in the y-axis, showing that this kind of technique can be extremely relevant for companies trying to minimize the effect of potential changes, of potential factors using analytics. Well, the grad certificates that we are going to be talking about today cover all these kinds of analytics across different applications and across different techniques. So this is just to give you an overview of what analytics is all about. Start the conversation about what complex systems are, and then to give you some ideas of potential applications and these different kinds of analytics that you could learn in our grad certificates. With these ideas as background, well, where can we apply them? Basically, they can be applied to most, if not all, industries, going from traditional businesses and supply chains up to how to analyze a potential disaster and how to react if that disaster could happen and everything in between: public health, public transportation, finance and economics, climate and environment, education and learning, and social systems and policy. So the areas of applications are vast. It's just we need people that have the skills to match problems with data and data analysis techniques. And that's what you learn. That's part of what you learn in the grad certificates that we offer at McGill. So in terms of the programs that we offer that can help you develop these skills of analyzing complex data sets using different techniques that can be transferred across industries. Well, we have first the grad certificate in data analysis for complex systems. If I needed to describe what this grad certificate is all about in one sentence, I would say that it's all about understanding and analyzing complex systems using mathematics, algorithms, and models. So it's about putting these techniques to use to analyze different problems, different aspects of systems that are everywhere in society, in the environment, that are part of organizations. And examples of that are, for example, studying why traffic jams occur, studying how to predict the right investment depending on the time span that we are trying to put the money as part of the investment, analyzing uncertainty as part of the investment decision, analyzing the best way to allocate beds in a hospital. So, and these are just 3 examples of potential applications we study as part of these grad certificates, always using this idea of complex systems in the background to give us context about the kinds of systems that we're going to be studying, and using these techniques from mathematics, algorithms, and models to study them at detail and to understand them better so we can predict them better. In order to study this grad certificate, you do need to have a bachelor degree, but that's basically the main requirement that you need to have. You can come from any field of study, you can come from any profession, and start learning how you can analyze data in this grad certificate. At the end of the grad certificate, you will have working knowledge in data analysis and data analytics. You will have fundamental understanding of all the techniques involved in data analysis and data analytics. You will be able to put them to use. You will be able to visualize data. You will be able to select the appropriate technique depending on the problem. And it will be and this grad certificate, it's a great starting point for anyone that is new to data analysis and data analytics. Once you have completed this grad certificate, we have a second grad certificate that is more technically advanced. And if I needed to, again, describe the second grad certificate using one sentence, I would say this grad certificate is more about problem solving and decision making using data science, decision science, and artificial intelligence. In this grad certificate, we go into specific areas or fields related to data analytics and explore in detail the techniques and applications related to these fields. So for data science, we produce models based on existing data that allows you to predict the future. Predict, again, going back to the example that I was giving you, predict, for example, if a customer will buy a product or not, based on their past behavior, based on their past purchases. For the decision science part, we deal with optimizations as part of that field of study. So we explore applications typically seen in supply chain management, for example, and we explore what options we have when we are optimizing something. And then as part of artificial intelligence, we explore techniques that right now are classified under this artificial intelligence umbrella that can be, for example, natural language processing, image recognition, and similar kind of techniques, generative technologies, and all those new trends and new applications that we see in the news under this artificial intelligence label. So in order to achieve that knowledge in all these areas, you do need to have some fundamental knowledge about data analysis. That's why this is a second level grad certificate. If you already have experience analyzing data, some experience in analytics, or other related work experience, you can apply directly to this second grad certificate when you have at least 2 years of relevant work experience. And the objective of this grad certificate is to give you advanced knowledge in data analytics and data analysis. So both of them are aligned in the sense that they are all about data analysis and data analytics. You have 2 entry points depending on your level of expertise. The first one has more of a complex systems or systems thinking perspective. The second grad certificate goes into specific domains and applications that allows you to go deeper into these fields of study. And with that, let me tell you a little bit about why we believe that these are great programs and why you should come and study with us. Well, one is that these are grad certificates open to all professional backgrounds and all academic backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you study literature, or if you study education, or if you study a more technical background or technical bachelor, but if you didn't apply it and you are kind of rusty in the skills, well, these programs have different elements to help you learn and develop your skills no matter your past experience or your past studies. We have developed a system, we have developed content for you to learn progressively, to learn all the skills little by little. So for that reason, these are great programs for multiple professionals interested in using data analysis and data analytics efficiently. These programs will help you improve or leverage data as part of your current role, or help you transition into a more data-focused careers, especially related to data analysis. In these grad certificates, you're going to learn about a wide range of techniques and a wide range of real-world applications. You're not going to be constrained about a single industry or about a single type of application. We are going to be exploring a wide range of mathematical techniques, sometimes coming from statistics, sometimes coming from pure complex systems theory, sometimes coming from supply chain. So you're going to see basically all, and you're going to be able to apply it to real problems. These are grad certificates that are fully online and were developed and are taught by experienced instructors. I will show you a little bit about them in a few minutes. But trust me when I tell you that they are expert in their fields, and they were part of the development, and they are involved constantly in this program. And another good reason why why you should study these grad certificates is that they give you an opportunity to apply these techniques as part of a research project guided by an instructor. These research projects are developed in a particular course. It's called CCCS 690 Applied Research Project. And it allows you to bring your own data and use the techniques that you learn in the other courses and see with your own eyes, with your own data, all the benefits that I'm telling you in this presentation. Of course, supported by someone that knows about the techniques and about how to do a research project that uses data. But you're going to be, you will have the opportunity to develop your own deep expertise in whatever area you're interested in this course, which is something that is not typically offered in most academic programs. In terms of the structure and the delivery format of these grad certificates, both of them are 50 credit programs made up 5 3-credit courses. Each course is 13 weeks long. They are offered once a week from 6 to 9 p.m. each course. So it's great if you have a job, because it allows you to finish your day, then disconnect for a few hours, and then join the live sessions that with one of the instructors that I will experts in their field of study, and discuss with them and see examples of applications and allow you to apply these ideas guided by the instructors in real-time classes design and prepare in advance. Because this is an online course, that means that you can participate from anywhere. Doesn't matter if you are in Quebec or in Montreal, it could be joining the live classes wherever you are, and gives you also the opportunity to interact with participants that are in other regions, that are working in other fields during these live sessions. In terms of the courses that we have for you, for the first grad certificate, we have 3 courses that are mandatory. The first one, digital thinking for data analysis. It's all about using computational algorithms to analyze data. The second course, data analysis and modeling, is about using mathematical techniques to analyze data. And then the third course, complex systems, it's a course that integrates both types of techniques in the context of complex systems. And for that, we use different kinds of simulators and different kinds of softwares to create models to study different types of complex systems. This first grad certificate has 3 potential complementary courses. Out of these 3, you only need to take 2. In the complementary courses, we explore how to visualize data appropriately. Then we also explore how to use cloud technologies to store and analyze data. So it's not only about you doing the analysis on your own computer is how to leverage these cloud resources for data analysis and data storage. And the last complementary course is this applied research course that I was mentioning in the previous slide. In the second grad certificate, we follow the same structure, 3 courses that are required. Decision science is about optimization techniques. Data science, it's about producing models using machine learning and techniques from artificial intelligence that are typically used as part of data science projects. Basically, these projects require that you, with data, you produce a model derived on that data that you need to have. And then computational intelligence is using pure artificial intelligence techniques for different problems. Language processing, generative technologies, and similar kind of applications. The complementary part, it's the same as the first program. So if you complete the first program, you only need to complete one additional complementary to get the second grad certificate. So if you are a graduate from data analysis for complex systems and you are completing data-driven decision-making, then you only need one extra complementary, not 2. And as an additional options for anyone interested in exploring other courses or other applications, could be finance, supply chain. Well, there is a path that allows you to use another 600 level course offered at the school as a substitute for one of the complementary courses. So that means that, let's assume that you complete 2 of the complementary courses that are listed here, but you have an interest in other spaces, in other areas. Well, you can take a course where you study those areas, as long as it's offered at McGill, as part of these grad certificates, giving you a lot of flexibility and a lot of customization depending on your needs and interests, which is, again, something that not all programs allow you to do. In terms of the software we use in these programs, we primarily use the tool that is the standard in the industry, Python. And it's not just Python, it's Python plus multiple specialized libraries for the different kinds of applications that we are going to be exploring in the grad certificates. At the core, it's a little bit of programming, a little bit of math, a little bit of software. So that's the main language and environment that we're going to be using. On top of Python, to facilitate the learning process, we use Excel as a support tool. So that allows us to, especially for those of you who are new to data analysis, to have a very approachable tool to understand the concepts, to see the data, to apply some of the techniques. And for that reason, we use Excel as a support tool across the programs. And to be honest, it can be surprising how powerful Excel can be if you know how to extract all the features and all the functions that it provides. So we explore those as part of these grad certificates. So at the end, you are going to become an advanced user or advanced a person that knows how to analyze data in Python, but can also use Excel in case you need, or in case that Excel allows you a faster analysis and an easier understanding of the data. In terms of cloud technologies, we use Microsoft Azure as our cloud platform, and we explore how you can analyze and store data using this platform. We have special labs for you designed to apply the concepts, to explore the tool without paying for it. So it's a great opportunity to learn how cloud technologies can be leveraged for the objectives that we are discussing today. Additionally, we have some support tools. Pensim is used for certain kinds of complex systems models, so we discussed it in one of the courses. SQL is a language that is typically used to interact with a database. So in order to become a data analyst, it's good to have some at least fundamental knowledge of SQL. So we use how we can use this language to interact with the databases, to extract data from them. And then we also use Google Colab as an online tool that allows us to run the Python libraries that we are going to be using and run the analysis in Python on a web environment, reducing the need for you to acquire expensive equipment to do the analysis. So in a way, we rely on cloud technologies to facilitate your learning and to facilitate the analysis process, which will be especially relevant, especially if you are new to the field and you are maybe coming from a background that is not particularly technical. Well, we don't need to worry about installing Python and managing Python on your own machine. We are going to rely on Google Colab to facilitate that and to jump right into the analysis process. In terms of the experts that we work with as part of this grad certificate, we have people that are specialized in artificial intelligence, in data analysis, in data science, in supply chain management, decision science, IT process management, mathematics, machine learning, systems design, optimization. So basically, all the fields that are important to learn about data science and data analytics, are covered by our experts. And as you can see, all of them have advanced degrees and sometimes multiple credentials on top of the advanced degrees that they already possess. I cannot guarantee that these will be the instructors that you have in your courses, because sometimes they have other activities, but these are the instructors that have been involved until in the grad certificates and their development. So you're gonna see their names, and they're gonna be involved one way or another. And if these are not the instructors, I guarantee that we have processes at McGill that allows us to only hire the best and only hire people that are specialized in the fields that they're going to be talking about, or their fields of the courses that they're going to be teaching. In terms of what are potential roles that you can take after completing these grad certificates, and although this list is not extensive, it gives you a good idea of some of the roles where you will be a perfect fit after learning about data analysis and analytics in our grad certificates. You have roles like data analyst, which is a very traditional role, typically very in demand. But you also have other more sophisticated or other roles that will become more important going forward. Once companies realize that they need people that can help them introduce analytics across the organizations. And we have roles for that. For example, data literacy program lead. Well, that would be someone that understands data analytics and data analysis and can help others apply, identify opportunity areas where data can be used to solve problems. You also have other roles like research analysts, policymakers, so roles that require data and analytics to make better decisions. Well, if that's something that you are interested in, well, the grad certificate will give you all the skills you need to perform those jobs. And with that, I know that I have given you a lot of information, and but this is just the beginning. There are more elements that can help you understand or identify why the School of Continuing Studies can be a great fit for you. And for that reason, we have designed an online info session for you to get to know SES. So right now, one of my colleagues is gonna put a link in the chat for you to register if you are interested in knowing more about all the programs that we offer at the School of Continuing Studies, the application process, the admission requirements and deadlines, as well as information related to financial aid, student support services that we provide at McGill, and other important topics that will help you understand everything we do at SES to help you in your learning journey. And with that, we have a few minutes to discuss any questions you might have after this conversation. We also have one of the student advisors today for this online session. His name is Angus, and he's also here to answer any kind of question related to the admission process or potential steps that you need to complete before joining us. Yes, Angus.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Alejandro. If we're going to start questions, I see there's someone in the chat, Luke, asked how often are classes held, and are there set days for classes? Does it include weekends? So for the classes, like Alejandro mentioned, they're typically 6 to 9 p.m. On weekdays. So that's typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We really don't usually have classes on Fridays. Occasionally, there will be classes on Saturdays, either in the morning or in the afternoon. But most often, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, once per week. So if you have two classes in a term, maybe you would have one class on Monday and one class on Tuesday, and that would be your class for the week. The only exception is in the summer, where occasionally we'll condense courses. So instead of it being over the course of like 13 weeks, once per week, the class will be like a month and 1 week, and it'll be twice per week. But that's only in the summer term. How many hours do we need to spend outside the classroom to succeed? Alejandro, do you have any information on that?
Yeah, it's around 6 to 9 hours outside of class per week. So it's not extremely demanding, but it does require work outside of class. It's not just you coming to live class, it's you applying what we discussed in the live class to a new data, to a new problem, maybe going deeper into some spaces, into some techniques. So for that reason, you do need to spend some time outside of the class working with what we are covering.
Thank you. And Luke asked, are the classes offered every semester year round? No, sometimes there will be terms where certain classes aren't offered. So for example, the summer, we have less course offerings. I can see here just, yeah, sometimes I don't know, Alejandro, you can verify this, but oftentimes when it comes to graduate certificates, there'll be more of the first one courses offered in the fall and more of the more advanced level one courses offered in the winter. But given the fact that the data analysis ones are both more part-time, uh, some terms you won't necessarily have all courses. Um, and some, yeah, not all courses are offered in every term.
Yeah, right now the plan is to offer all the courses once a year. During the next fall, we are opening the first course for the first grad certificate. It's CCCS 610. So for those of you who are new to the grad certificate, and it will be a great start. And for the second grad certificate, we are planning to offer the 640 course during the fall, and that's also a great start for the second grad certificate. So basically, for the fall, you are covered. And if you are interested in taking two courses during the fall, we can explore the 600 level course alternative that I mentioned to complement your learning from with courses from other spaces or other programs. During the winter 2026, the plan is to offer complex systems and a complementary course, most likely scalable data analysis. So basically, if you start fall 2025, you have two great entry points into the programs, and then you will continue taking one or two courses, depending on your ability to manage courses. In general, we recommend that you take between 1 to 2 courses, depending on the options that are available every term, and that will keep you on track.
Thank you. Naziza asked, is there any course for bioinformatics data analysis? So, unless you want to correct me if I'm wrong, Alejandro, but the answer is no. There's nothing specifically for bioinformatics, but like Alejandro mentioned, these concepts that you use in the class can be can be applied across multiple industries.
Yeah, absolutely. Nassim, unfortunately, specifically to bioinformatics, no, but the techniques can be applied to bioinformatics. And something that we encourage in these grad certificates is looking at the problems from multiple angles, from multiple industries. We are not going to be only talking about one single vertical. We're going to be exploring different industries, different verticals, for you to understand the principles, and then for you to then apply them to your own data sets and problems. If you are particularly interested in bioinformatics, what you can do is, after completing the required courses and having a clear knowledge of the different techniques, you could develop a bioinformatics project as part of the applied research course that I mentioned. So that will be a place where you can integrate the bioinformatics component, but a single course on bioinformatics, that's not something we do.
Okay. There's another question from Naziza. I'm not professional. I am doing my PhD in civil engineering, but I was interested in the course. Can I enroll? That's a bit more of a complicated question. It shouldn't cause a problem. If you're doing your PhD at McGill, you might need permission from your faculty to enroll, so you could be in two things at the same time. But that's something that it's a little harder to answer just yes or no on the chat. Right here, it should be fine. But I'm going to put a link to program advising appointments in the chat before we end, so that if you have any kind of more complex sort of personalized questions, you can always book an appointment and speak with an advisor, even if you're a prospective student. One for Alejandro, does the Azure portion of the program also provide MS certification for it?
Right now, we don't have a MS certification attached to the course that we covered as part of these programs. But the tools, the knowledge will help you get some certifications if you are interested in them. So it will be like a starting point for you to learn the Azure environment, to learn specific tools, and then for you to identify which certification will be the most relevant depending on your objectives. Azure has certifications for data engineering, data management, so the list is quite vast. The grad certificates will give you a starting point, but no, you won't be able to clear the certification just with the course that we provide. A certification that we are more closely aligned is called the CAP, Certified Analytics Professional. That certification, based on a mapping exercise that we are doing, you will be in a very good position to clear after completing both grad certificates. And this certification has 3 levels: essentials, advanced, and I think another level. You will for sure be ready to pass the first level, which is quite comprehensive and quite interesting if you are interested in getting additional certifications connected to your studies.
Thank you. So some people have asked, is it mandatory to attend the 6 to 9 p.m. live courses, or are they recorded for later consultation?
They are recorded for you to review them after. And if you cannot attend them, we typically have mechanisms for you to participate or to submit the work after you review the recording. So yeah, we can accommodate students that for whatever reason cannot join the live session. In principle, I highly recommend that you join the live session because it allows you to ask questions. It allows you to interact with the instructor more, but it's not a hard requirement that will prohibit you from taking these courses. So it's encouraged that you attend, but it's not mandatory.
Thank you. I've been responding to some other questions in the chat. Does the tuition fee cover the cost of software applications? No, but it's a good question. Are those applications covered by the school, Alejandro, or do students need to pay for their own license?
No, that's a great question. Basically, everything that you need in terms of computing resources and licenses is covered as part of the program. We have the software for you. We have that's the reason why sometimes we use certain tools to facilitate or to avoid having to buy licenses to complete the program. You don't even need license for Excel or Word. McGill provides you with that. We provide you with credits for the labs. We provide you with licenses to all the resources you need. And connected to licenses and all these ideas, I think it's also worth highlighting that we do use the McGill library as part of these programs. The McGill library is basically another excellent reason why you should study at McGill. It's an impressive library with millions of resources, and we use multiple resources as part of these courses in the shape of online books, in the shape of videos. So everything is there for you, and you don't need to pay extra for those resources.
Thank you. One student asked, can we add advanced deep learning course to the supplementary courses? So I don't know of any advanced deep learning course. We do have a professional development certificate in data science and machine learning. However, that's a non-credit program. So with the complementary courses, where Alejandro mentioned the substitution, it has to be another 600 level credited course here at McGill SCS. So there are some limitations with that.
Yeah, but I can mention that we do cover the fundamental of neural networks, and I'm not sure deep neural networks, but at least the principles. But you could explore deep neural networks as part of the research project that I'm that I mentioned. So you might not have in the courses a deep review of the technique, but you will have an introduction and you can go deeper as part of this other course that is more for you to bring your own data and your own technique and explore new things. So that would be a project that can, or that could be a technique that is explored as part of this research project, guided by an instructor.
Thank you. I have another question. The last one that I see, Leand asks, is the course only offered in English? For someone with an academic background in French, what should they do? So I'll respond to a bit of this. Yes, the courses are offered in English. To get into the program, you need to prove a certain level of English proficiency to any of our programs. And so there's a variety of ways you could do that. For example, well, in your case, it wouldn't apply, but if you'd had previous like a degree in English, that would count. If you have lived and worked in an English language environment, English language country for a while, that counts. Or you could take a Duolingo test and IELTS test to prove your level of English. The course materials are in English, but correct me if I'm wrong, Alejandro. Students are allowed to submit any student is allowed to submit their work in French, correct?
Correct, correct. The live classes are in English. The online content is in English, but you are allowed to submit your assignments in French. And I see a question related to learning calculus. We don't learn calculus as a field of study in the grad certificate, but if we need to use a concept from calculus, we will introduce that concept. We will show you how it can be applied for data analysis, and you will have all the knowledge and skills required to apply it. So it's not, we don't cover calculus in detail. It's just taking from different fields, and that includes probability, statistics, pure mathematics, artificial intelligence, the ideas, the principles, and exploring how we can use them.
I also just wanted to respond to Leon, just to say that we do also offer courses, credit courses in English. So it's sometimes a little complicated to add them, but you could also take courses here in English. If, let's say, for example, the school, you tried to apply the program, they found that your level of English wasn't acceptable yet. If you take English up to the most advanced level of our courses, then that counts as proof of English proficiency for any SCS program. So if, your English wasn't at the level judged admissible by the school, you could come here to learn English, and the courses are accredited as well. I don't see any questions, so I think that's all. Does anyone have any more questions?
We also have these different accounts that you can use to reach us in case that you have questions related to the specific techniques that we're covering, or specific topics that we review in the courses. You have the program advising email that can help you explore the different programs we offer at SES, the technology and innovation domain email, and my personal email for questions related to these grad certificates that we discussed today. Yes, we can share the slides. Are the course outlines available somewhere? They are not available. You do have a brief course description online. If you search for example, CCCS 610 Digital Thinking for Data Analysis, you will have some information about the course. The next level of information, which will be the course outline, is not public. But if there is a particular topic that you would like to review, or if there is something that you would like to know more about a course, then you can reach out to me and I will be happy to go into more details about the topics, the assignments, whatever you need related to the course. I might not be able to send you the course outline directly, but we can meet and discuss the specific aspects of the course if you are interested in. Excellent. Well, we're a little bit over the hour. I just want to finish by highlighting that these grad certificates gives you a comprehensive understanding of the techniques that are relevant for data analysis and data analytics. And it allows you to see applications from multiple industries and bring them to your own problems, bring them to your own organizations, and apply them in a project. And with that, Angus, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I'm good on my end. We also have our coworker Masin Zahid here, who is a program administrator from the technology and innovation domain. So she also does a lot with the admission policies, how to get in. Do you have anything you wanted to add, Masin?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Masin, and the email that you see here for the technology and innovation domain, if you have any questions regarding courses, the timings of it, anything else regarding registering for them, you can send us an email. We basically bridge the gap between your instructors that you would have if you were in the program and the administrative stuff that goes on before you start the classes. So, any questions for that, it would be great if you could email us that and we will always check in with you. So thank you.
Excellent. With that, thank you for joining this session. It's been a pleasure. And reach out if you have any questions, any ideas that you would like to discuss. And you can also add me on LinkedIn. I'm there, so I share events, I share what we do in these programs and in others that I'm involved. It will be great to connect with you. Thank you.